We go to your readings. Happy Friday. It's Venus Day. So happy Venus Day. Hope you guys have a lot of fun stuff planned for this weekend. It is Mother's Day and it's also full moon in Scorpio. If you haven't checked it out yet, I made a video, just an intro talk about the Scorpio full moon that we're having this weekend. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and start with your readings. Now, the last time that I did the readings, I actually had those little they're like little pieces that have the signs. Um, there are some signs missing from there, so I misplaced them, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is just speak up as I go on who I'm reading. So make sure you pay attention. As always, I follow, I do Aries to Virgo, which is this one, and I do a second video that's going to be Libra to Pisces. So this is for my Aries. I'm going to do it differently today, so hope you enjoy the information. This is Chakralosa, and hope you enjoy your reading for today. So this is for the weekend of, May will be 10, 11, and 12 for this weekend. All right. So Aries, Loki's down here just staring at me being cute. What message do we have for Aries watching for this full moon weekend? The very first one that popped out, the energy for you is that one. That's the only one I'm going to pull from here because you pull one. All right. Let's see. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rise, Venus. These are general messages, guys. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Aries, Aries, Aries. All right, Aries. The message for you for this weekend. I get the messages I get is that some of my Aries are probably feeling that they need to focus on putting extra work, perhaps going back to school to, strengthen that education. Those that are working, putting in the overtime, that would also come out because I see the Eight of Pentacles here for you. All right. And I have the camera here. So let's see if I could get that. Eight of Pentacles. Bye, Loki. So that's the energy for some of my Aries around. Okay. Also, it seems that some of my Aries as well that are watching are either having to tap into a more emotional side. Okay. And when I say emotional, because Aries in general is fire, emotional be like that you're actually coming from in here and not from like pride or ego. Okay. It's from in here. With the Queen of Cups, in a general reading, I'm not going to talk about a person. It's not going to talk about like, you have this woman come in. No, it's like, it's just the energy surrounding you and your environment. So there needs to be like a balance of also tapping into what fulfills you because the Queen of Cups, she's holding a cup and it's like she's already a queen, so it's like she knows what she wants. She knows that she wants her cup filled. So whatever you want to work on needs to be fulfilling in that cup. It needs to fill your heart, Aries. All right. Then we come to justice. Immediately I got like, yeah, there needs to be a balance somewhere too, because it's like, what do you have going on that could also could say counteract that need to add in that extra overtime that or to go back to school. What are those things that are there if you're considering all what I mentioned, the extra school or the extra work hours or maybe an extra job? It's like the balance is like, is it affecting, like, is it going to affect your home life, what you have going on, if you have a personal relationship? Because personal relationships and all that will go for Queen of Cups. Okay, so make sure that the decisions are balanced correctly so they could work out as they, could, like, should. All right. And then the next card is the moon. The moon, I talked about how this full moon's gonna reflect on you, Aries. If you look at that video, that intro video, I talked about the full moon. Um, it's all about commitments for you. So yes, if you decide to go back to school, it's a commitment. If you decide to pick up new shifts, it's a commitment to your employer. If you decide that you want to take on a second job, yeah, now you have two commitments because you have two jobs, all that stuff. So it's like, how will you balance? The word is balance as well. And let's see. I have, as usual, I have my other cards here. I have a few Oracle decks actually out. Not only my typical music one because I love it and it's fun because I like to see what song would complement your reading, but also the extra Oracle that could give a message. So I have a choice. I could pick a music Oracle. I could pick the rest. So let's, because you're my first one, let's go ahead and pick out. Let's see here. Let's pick this one here. It's all dark. Message do you have for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rise, and Venus? So I'm gonna pick one oracle from here and one music oracle, okay? And then read the message. What message do you have for my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus watching? Clarify their reading a bit more, right? See for Aries. Ay, Dios mío. We have Mountain. The mountain, I see it almost like the world card. It's like, when you see a mountain takes its time to grow, right? The mountain goes through also like natural movements because when there's like earth movements or shifts, it starts rising. So there you go. It's like when you complement that with you, Aries, it's like you need to shift. You need to make movements so that mountain of yours keeps going up and up and up. It could also, what I also see with the mountain is like, how long do you see the path? Because we could see the mountains here in California. To me, I could be like, yeah, the mountains are like right there, but how far is it? It's like, it's a long way to get to the mountain depending on where you live. Okay, so that's another way to see it too. Like, looking at the direction, but how long will it take you to get there, which complements the Eight of Pentacles. All right. A song I always like to do Shadow and Light or the Tea with an Omen. So in this case, I want to use Shadow and Light again because I think that's pretty cool. So let me go ahead and I'm not gonna shuffle. I'm just gonna like pick and see which card comes out from the bottom. All right, there we go. Here we go. Without shit for Aries. Aries, the song that came out for you, if you want to play it and, jam out before you go out this weekend, it's Juicy by Notorious B.I.G. 1994, maybe you're watching, you were born in 94, the number 5, all right? Um, the song itself, its message is about struggle. Yes, you have to go through struggles to get where you need to be, but struggles always make you stronger. All right. And if you know his story, it's like, the song is said like he talks about the kind of things he had to do to survive. So it's like if you need this extra jale, we say jale in Spanish for job, this extra job or that education to make your mountain go up, then yeah, there's gonna be some struggles that you need to do. That's why Justice saying it's all about balance, hard work. Self-belief, you have to have belief in yourself, belief that you could climb mountains, all right? And then have that determination. That determination is the chariot in the tarot, like the major arcana is determination and focus, all right? Strength, inner strength that you could do this. So, all right, Aries, that message was for you. Take what resonates, leave the rest. The next My next sign that will be coming up will be Taurus. What message do we have for Taurus watching Sun, Moon, Rise, and Venus for this weekend of May? I would consider today Taurus. So May 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so this is a reading. Messages that come out for you, Taurus. What message for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Show us what messages you have for Taurus. All right. Right. Let's see. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Taurus. The message for you. Um, if something is making some of my Tauruses feel like they're bounded almost like in like their own self prison. All right, some of my Tauruses, you just struggle with making a decision, probably afraid or just uncomfortable because it's going to bring you out of your comfort level. Some of my Tauruses watching have actually managed to get out of it. Okay. And when you manage to get out of it, that's cool because you have the freedom. There are some I've seen some memes. It's not a funny meme. It's actually showing that sometimes we're the person that creates our own prison, like our mental prison. So it's almost like that. And then so some of you are struggling with that, some of you are not. And those that are have gotten out of their own prison, congratulations. Those that have not, you need to make a decision. Anyway, the prison metaphor I talked about right now is Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords came out as one of the main energies influencing some Tauruses right now. Okay, whether you got out of that mentality and those are still stuck in it, and it's all caused by making a clear decision in where life is headed, what they want to do. As of recent, that will be a Two of Swords. Those that escaped the mental prison, they made a clear decision because they had some clarity on the situation. Those that are still struggling and stuck in their internal prison, then we are still stuck in the prison. Hence, because you can't make a decision. Just know, Taurus, that no decision is also a decision. Okay. Um, it the message here, it comes with news of some material security. I have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, to some of you Tauruses, it might not be clear enough or safe enough. You're like, I don't have all the info. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't look right. All that. And then there's some of you that saw that the offer or that message was a green light. Okay. And those that decide to make the decision, you will see that fruit, that return of investment from that decision start showing for those that took that leap and that action and that decision. You're going to start seeing it progress by pretty much, you'll see benefit by the time we reach like winter time. All right. um the advice or the light in the situation, whether you are clear, whether you're not clear, is the Magician. The Magician, it is considered a Gemini card. All right, because it's like Gemini energy, because we know how to work with things thrown at us. I say us because I'm a Gemini, but also because it's like the Magician is considered like almost like I get a hermetic principle, right? So it's like you could create things. You have all the tools, all the knowledge, all the experience necessary. Okay. That means that those that are taking on that decision, know that whatever gets thrown at you, you got it, because the Magician is here. The Tauruses that are still hesitant, just know that it's like, what's holding you back when you have all this mastery and experience of the Magician. All right, let's pick a card for you. I'm going to use this deck for you. What message do we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in regards to this reading? This is a general message for my Tauruses, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's see how this pairs up with you, with my Tauruses. This one here. Desires. So this will be in the category of desires. And it's a question for reflection. Okay, Tauruses? So listen carefully. If all crimes are made legal for a day, which one would you be likely to commit? And this is actually going to test what your desires and motivations are. Okay, it's take what resonates and leave the rest with that. Let's pick a song for you. Shadow Light. I'm going to get light. And again, I'm not going to shuffle. I'm just going to pick it and see the song from the bottom. Okay. Okay. The song is called I'm Just a Girl by Hortense Ellis. It's it's not the one from No Doubt, because I know she has Just a Girl, but this one's called I'm Just a Girl by Hortense Ellis. Um I got two numbers. I got number 6 and I got number 9. So with those, I get service to self and others. And then I also get perhaps there needs to be like higher truth searching, and also higher education. All right. With the song, two can play the game, meaning like, yes, whatever it is that you're working on, it probably it's gonna involve other people. So you need to flow with the game. The magician is your guide at this moment. All right. Um, if there is any toxicity around it, be mindful. Discernment, okay? If there's rumors that are making it unclear, discernment, inteligencia, because you want to know, it's like with the intentions as well. I mean, the magician knows about intentions. There you go. So, what are the intentions of these rumors? Are they trying to, a hater and trying to sabotage you? All right. So, discernment, pay attention. There is like a warning as well. So if those that are not clear, it's probably a warning to be mindful. If you made the decision and you're clear and focused, a magician has its shadow side too, Taurus. So it will be mindful of manipulations. All right, a manipulator. And then also relationships. How are they? Like, who is your support? Is it supportive, etc.? Okay, that's you. And take what resonates and leave the rest, Taurus. Now we move to Gemini. All right. This is my Geminis. Hi, Gemini. My fellow Geminis. I'm a Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Venus. What message do we have for Geminis watching right now? For this weekend, this is messages that I do on weekends. That's why it's called my weekend tarot. Gemini. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Gemini. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. All right. Gemini, the messages in your cards. Gemini. Um, some might be, you have been brought an opportunity to bring you a change that's long term, that's more grounded, more actually like rooted well, like it's more stable. Okay. Some news on that too. If you were looking for work, if you were waiting on an offer, if you were selling something and someone finally accepted, all that stuff will fall under the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So if this is something that you were waiting on, you were probably waiting on it for a long time. It's probably started, something that was initiated in the beginning like of the year, of this year. So it's like winter time, right? Um, and now it's came up again, which will make sense because a lot of things are coming into play right now. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. The prize, like, again, I don't refer to an individual. I like to refer to the energy, because the Queen of Pentacles is a more grounded earth energy. And then also she is in the hierarchy. She's high. She's not like a page that's like a child or immature. And then you have the knight that's like, and the queen is up there like a king. Okay. So this Queen of Pentacles, she knows her worth. She knows what comfort she likes. She likes to get her, anything that makes her feel comfortable, especially when it comes to the paper and, her home, all that stuff. So the message here is like, Gemini, where are you falling in right now in regards to your life? Is your life fulfilling? Do you feel comfort? Do you feel financially independent? All of those are downloads I'm getting. Okay. Are you feeling that what you have right now is stable? Okay. Because if it's not, then it's a good time to sit and reflect on that kind of stuff as well. Okay. Because opportunity, if you haven't received an opportunity yet, it's going to come. So it's like, if you don't, also, you must feel it that you deserve it too. Okay. Now with the Judgment card, to me, the judgment is this: reasoning. All right. Reasoning. And with reasoning, I mean, mutable head clarity. A Gemini always makes decisions based on the head. All right. I don't see any water energy here, so it's actually not asking a Gemini to tap into the heart. It's more like tapping into the head. And in this case, it's like if you wanted the clarity, there'll be right the crown. If you want to really see it and be more intuitive and like tap into make sure that what you're saying in school, that hermetic thing I was talking about in my and for when the magician came out for Taurus, because it's like someone that is intuitive. So all that comes to mind when it comes to the judgment. So it's like you will have to use a lot of discernment, really, really, really look into things well, because whatever decision, cause and effect, right? Choice, all the, cause and consequence, all that plays. I mean, it plays here anyway. So whatever decision you make, be mindful of its outcome. If you invest, what's the return on investment? If you do it with not really good intentions as well, also be mindful of your intentions. You're going to get something back that you might not like it, the backfiring, right? So make sure that the decisions are made like intelligently, con inteligencia, right? Ten of Pentacles. After you've done all your discernment, you're looking over and make sure you have all the info and all the details. Objectivity, being objective. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles. It's the Ten of Pentacles is your full treasure chest, the gold plates, the money, all that stuff. Okay. Um, and when you're in the right now in the energy that you have to make the decision, also be mindful that if you don't make the right decision, you could also lose that. All right. So be very, very careful. I wouldn't say cut corners, do your homework, make sure you count any decisions you make that, especially when they revolve around money and long term right now, be mindful. Even if it means like if I want to throw it out there, if you're an individual that's filing for a divorce, know that it could come with alimony, it could come with child support. Okay, all that stuff, all those changes. All right, let's get a card for you. I'm gonna use this deck here. For my Geminis, what message do we have for Gemini, Sun, and Rising? These are general messages. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And thank you for being here again. This is Chakralosa with Weekend Tarot. Okay. Message for Geminis watching this. We have initiation, journey to wisdom. So yes, it is a beginning. The ace is a beginning. It's a beginning for you. Okay. And then also timing wise, I said, if it's something that, was initiated in the winter time and now you're circling back to it, cool. It's time to now push forward. And I would estimate time wise that by the end of this winter time for 2025, you're going to see some fruit for your labor. So there is initiation and things. So, but it comes with the journey of using wisdom as you go through that journey, Gemini. Okay, that's this card. Let's see what song do we want. Shadow? Do we want? Let's tap into your shadow, Gemini. Let's see what song we get for you. Okay. Blame It on the Kids by Aviva. That's the song that came out for Gemini, okay? 2018, so it's a bit more recent song. So anyone in that's watching, I wouldn't say you were born in 2018 because that would make you a minor, and minors do not watch this channel. But perhaps something major or important happened in 2018 that might come up for you to face right now. Number one, new beginning. Okay. Um, Energy of pressure. So you might feel pressure to, what should I do? Then we have conformity. Do you feel free? I talked about that with this, in my full moon Scorpio talk. Do you feel oppressed? I also talked about that for Gemini. Suppression, all that stuff. Okay. Geminis like to feel freedom, free. Tap into your inner child if you need to. That's one of the parts of a Gemini that's vibing high and in their truth. They're like a child, curious. They like to take risks, like the Fool card, because you just want to test it, All right. If you're feeling some angst, yeah, teen angst, work on that. All right. And also, this is more important. Make sure that whatever you do, what comes out of you is your uniqueness. Okay. Your uniqueness. So your authenticity. All right. Break cultural society norms if it's needed. Gemini, that's your message. Take what resonates, leaves the rest. Now we move on to Cancer. How are my Cancers doing? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Take what resonates with the best. What message do we have for Cancers watching us today? This is a weekend tarot reading with Chakralosa. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Cancer for my Cancerians. Right. All right, Cancer, the messages we have for you. Cancer. There's an energy of like starting something new as well. But with you, it came out as the Fool. All right, with the Fool, it is a new beginning. All right. Some of my Cancerians are still like thinking, should I take a leap of faith or should I not? Others are not really thinking things through. All right, that would be the energy that I'm getting from the Fool card in here. And perhaps spinning the block with the same thing too. All that's like, these are downloads I get. Okay. So it's like you're noodling an idea, like just circling in your head, just like thinking, is it, should I, shouldn't I? Even it's like a childlike energy, but for some reason, it's like for some of you, it's kind of difficult to like just take action on it. Okay, anyway, now we move to the next card. We get a Queen of Wands here. This is not I don't like to reference them as an individual. I like to tap into the energy of the card, okay? So the energy of this card could be your environment, all right? The environment is something that is out of your norm. You run by the heart and the giving. And the Queen of Wands runs by the fire, by the attention, by, if she needs to get where she needs to get, she'll just do it. All right. But as I mentioned in my intro video, I was talking about that Scorpio, Cancer likes to make sure everybody else is comfortable first. So in this case, is there someone in your environment that's affecting you or influencing you away from what you want to do? Perhaps you have other desires, but there's someone in your environment that is doing that. Or perhaps you internally, you're finding yourself, with these type of feelings, which would be the shadow side as well, from a Cancer, because now you have expectations and you might, also be a bit more manipulative. In this case, it's like a Queen of Wands. She's going to be like, more, right? For better use of words, okay? She's fire and fire burns, okay? Now throw that in with your element of water, it's gonna burn with steam. So that's the energy I'm getting. Like I said, I don't like to reference a person in my readings, but it's like at the same time, my download saying like, when I say environment, there might be also some individuals that might be influencing or affecting your needs and your desires, okay? Death card. This is a card of transformation, okay? So if you yourself, Cancer, have been living with, the energy of the wands versus your authentic from the heart, from the emotions, then that needs to die or it will die. All right. This is a figure of speech with the death card because I do not predict physical death. Actually, no reader is would be ethical to do that. Okay. But the death card is about transformation. It's inner transformation of something. So if this is an individual, something ended or something needs to be cut out and ended with that individual or that environment or within yourself. It needs to die, all right, to bring forth a new Cancer, a new life for you, all right, figuratively speaking. Now we move on to the next card. We have the King of Swords, another card where, will be like an individual, but I will talk about the energy of a King of Swords. Rationality, assertive, may come off cold and like a jerk, but actually it's because they see things very clear. They cut through the bullshit. So that means that it's suggesting that you tap into the energy of seeing things clearly, if it means tapping into more like a discernment from mental versus heart in this case, or the matter. Perhaps that, energy of a Queen of Wands, from that environment or situation is affecting you. And if you see things more clear, like a King of Swords, it's going to be better in your progression, okay? Because I see the opportunity for new beginnings to try something new, but it's just unfortunate that you know, you have things that are like hindering that, you that excitement. Okay. That's just what I'm getting. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And something my ear just said, child. So, um, perhaps if you went through some situations in childhood that are being triggered by a current situation, um, perhaps it's also time for you to heal that, hence the death card, which is a transformation. It's like ending a chapter. It's like that chapter has to die so you can move forward to a more clear chapter, right? Let's see, what cards do we get for you, Cancer? Let me get one of these here. What message do we have for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Right, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Cancer. That one. Okay. Interesting. So this card is showing a man, just a man. Okay. And he looks very like this deck has a man and it has men. Okay. In this case, it's one, like a singular thing. So immediately, like I'm getting like it's probably referencing to like a particular person. Right. So in this case, it's like if you need to tap into the masculinity energy, because we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, right? Yin and yang, right? So, Cancer is water, it's more feminine, and King of Swords or the Queen of Swords, which is air ruled, we're considered the masculine. So, um, it could help to tap into the more masculine, more assertive, more put your foot down, more the boundary to get what you need to get. At least this is the energy that I'm getting. And then also with when I was talking about childhood trauma and I see here this man staring, it's I also get the energy that perhaps some of you might feel that perhaps you had a very demanding like paternal influence that tells you how to do things, that told you how to do things and how things should go or who you should like and who the family should, involve with their family and all that stuff. So all this is just coming. These are just downloads. Let's see what song we get for you. Let's get some light for my Cancerians. Let's see what song comes out for you. All right, we have, sorry. We have, I'm pretty sure this song came out for you a long time ago, one of my readings, Cancer. This is Ghetto Boys, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. I love that freaking song. 1992, I was 12. Okay, 1992. Perhaps if you're watching, maybe you were born in 1982 or something significant was in the 1992 to me, teen years. So if you were from my era, you're probably a teen around that time. Numerical 3, all right? So numerical 3 to me means communication. Perhaps you were suppressed. Someone told you that you can't speak up. Remember I was talking about the authority figure? I saw that man, like very paternal. Perhaps you were told to and just listen and, what they say goes. Mind's playing tricks on me. Is there delusion surrounding your situation right now, Cancer? Are you relying on escapism with drugs or alcohol or other things to not feel or not see? And then also in general, have you fallen into using actual like, drugs? And I'm not talking about prescription. I'm talking about like drugs, like, talk about methamphetamine, talk about cocaine, that kind of stuff. Okay. If you were sober and you have fallen off the wagon, that's another thing too that I get from this card, right? What's in your conscience? How does this situation affect your conscience? And then sleepless nights, consequences, depression, escapism, which will fall under the drugs, feeling stress. When I get the Nine of Swords, is that you having trouble sleeping. It's affecting you now from that point, like, that you can't sleep. So it's affecting you that way. Paranoia about things. You desire a change, which is the death card. It's a change, it's a transformation, but you are also like allowing other things around you. Now, with this being said too, like if some of my cancers watching also had a very strong maternal influence that was also like very rigid, like that man, maybe she had a very masculine presence, then you might also be like things are surfacing that need to end now so you can move forward to your next chapter. Take what resonates and leave the rest, Cancer. Now we move to Leo, right? And this is the last sign that I'm going to read here because then I start the next section. What messages do we have for? Actually, no, it's Virgo. Sorry. I'm very sorry. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Take where resonates and leave the rest. It's like I could already visualize like what people would say hearing this video. Like, what? Wait, no, wait, Virgo. Yeah, no, I still have Virgo. This is Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What message do we have for my Leos watching? This is for the weekend of May 9, 10, 11, and 12. Take what resonates, leave the rest. This doesn't necessarily need to happen like this weekend. It's probably something that's been happening. And, these are just messages, general messages that are coming out from, the energies around you or spirits, right? Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. All right. Leos. The first card that came out to me, the first energy in question is the lack of clarity. And that lack of clarity is also causing you like self-doubt. We have the King of Swords here that came out for you as the main messenger, but his energy seems pretty low. So some of my Leos might be experiencing lack of clarity on what they thought was clear. Now it's like things are coming out and it's like, oh, right? If take what resonates, leave the rest. If some of my other Leos are clear and standing where they need to stand because they knew what they got themselves into, then there's some Leos. If you're vibing low, you're not accepting what you thought was clear, and now you're gonna come in. You're gonna vibe on the lower energy, which is try to manipulate. If you saw my full moon reading that I did, like it was a full moon talk, I talked about some of the shadow aspects of a Leo. So I'm getting this that some of my Leos watching might be in a shadow phase right now because things didn't work out, and now because the King of Swords has a lot of confidence, they're very assertive. They're like just out there. Now it's like that is, some of that confidence is, now in question for some Leos watching. Take what resonates, see the rest. Um, Five of Cups. Some of my Leos have felt that they, you know, probably put too much emotional energy into something, and now they feel kind of like a form of like betrayal, like form of like loss. I mean, the card of the Five of Cups shows three cups spilled and two standing. So it's like, are you gonna focus on what was lost, or, those that are still standing, because this is just a figure of speech of, the message of the card. But if you're Leo that's still dwelling on it and blaming everybody else but yourself, and, just now with this disappointment, it hurt your pride. Are you sulking? Are you licking the wounds? Are you using people to try to get back at someone else because you're vibing low? Or some of my Leos that actually, you know, don't focus on what was lost, but was like, okay, all right, I see. Let's rearrange some shit, right? That's the high vibe. Let's rearrange some shit because of what I thought was clear was not clear. So that's now the elevated Leo. All right. Nine of Pentacles. The goal for you, what you feel, it's like you're seeking some form of independence, whether it's financial, your security, your long-term security. It's like it's in question here. Okay. So it is understandable if it affects you emotionally, but don't dwell on it. Don't drown in a glass of water. In Spanish, my mom always says, like, when we dwell on something, she's like, se están ahogando en un vaso de agua. If you understand Spanish, you know what that means. But it's like technically saying you're drowning in a glass of water. Okay. No, the goal still remains the same. You just need to make some adjustments. It's like cry its death, but don't die with the dead. In Spanish, there we have that saying too, but I've heard it more from, you could say from my path in Ocha. It's like no se mueran con los muertos, but it's a figure of speech. It's like saying like, don't continue crying for. It's like, okay, they transition. The transition has been made. Now you move forward, okay? In this case, it's like the goal is still the same. It hasn't changed. You just have to change a way of how to approach it now, right? And if we're talking about the King of Swords being the top energy player here, then that means that you need to tap into make sure that everything is clear now. And once you make that clarity and make sure you adjust that clarity, Leo, then now we come to the Knight of, the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is very immediate movement forward. If you're not ready for it, guess what's going to come with you sulking? It's going to bring more sulking. How about fixing that? Pick up that crown, put your head back on the body, and think about that Nine of Pentacles that you want. Because once you make that decision, declare to move forward after this disappointment, it's just things are just going with fast movement. What do we get? We get one of these. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. What message do we have for my Leos? Take this message. Like, again, it's just a general, if you guys want like a private reading, just send me a message and book me. I could do it like a video like this. I could do it, Zoom, via like instant message for you on Facebook or Instagram, or if you're in Southern California, I based on spirit, I might allow you to come see me here, or I could go to your house. Okay. We have duality. Duality. It says embrace the multiple varied sides of your soul. Okay. Okay. Tears have fallen. Embrace it, feel it, move to the next one. All right. It's duality to me, it's almost like it's like juggling two sides, okay? But just looking at this image, actually a pretty image. There's a skull here. To me, it represents death, okay? It represents also like messages from you might be getting messages from like ancestors and all that stuff, trying to, perhaps they gave you warnings, heads up, and you ignored that. You ignored intuition. All that stuff's coming here. And then also I'm seeing here a moth. Yep. Messenger. But the moth is associated with the moon. That means that this full moon, if it hasn't illuminated something, it will illuminate it, which will also play out with this. All right. Let's get a shadow card for you, Leo. Let's see what message comes out. All right. Love and rockets. No big deal. 1989. Perhaps, you were born in 89. Perhaps something major or something happened around 1989 for you. And this is number nine. Number nine to me comes with seeking the truth, the higher truth. Comes with philosophy, higher education, some travel, all that. And I mean, Knight of Swords is movement. So to me, travel and movement is the same thing. No big deal by Love and Rockets. So there's like some form of love and hate relationship, whether with yourself, with people around you, or with a certain person. It's also surrounding partnerships. Like who do you have around you that could also be influencing your current situation, Leo? There might be some some toxicity, whether it's yourself, because we have to admit, like, soy tóxica, we can't always just say someone is toxic. So, but there is toxic energy surrounding this. There's probably something being abused. There's abusive energy surrounding it too. Either are you being abused or are you the abuser? Okay, Leo, take as it resonates. There is something is not balanced. And you need to figure out with clarity what that balance is. Hence, duality. To me, duality is like, at the same time, that's how I see duality, a balance of two different things, all right? Take what resonates and leave the rest. Now we move to Virgo. That's the last sign for this segment here before I move on to my Libra to Pisces. Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Oh, there you guys. Virgo, what messages do we have for you for this weekend? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Virgo. Right, Virgo. For my Virgos watching, the message we have for Virgos right now, like the energies that I'm picking up on this reading is the need to control. Like, where are you right now on the need to control? Because the hangman, to me, I've mentioned before, the when I get the hangman, it's not only like situations that are on a standstill, like, hung jury kind of thing. It is also the fact that you've been you're trying to control. Some Virgos are trying to control everything, and then there's Virgos who are just like, you allow you can say you allow faith, you allow the source, or God, or whoever you believe in, now take control of things, because some of you already got tired of just trying to make things go your way. All right, that's the energy I get from that card. What's been going on? Nine of Swords. It has prevented some of my Virgos from resting. The Nine of Swords is like people that can't sleep. Overthink, 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 think. Okay, you're in your head a lot. So that, it has those that have released the need to control to a higher source, to focus on something else. You're probably resting now, because now you did that yourself that favor. Good. Because you want peace, right? But then there's those that are still struggling to let go. So it's like, take what resonates, leave the rest with that. It's like, if you're still trying to control, it's time to release that need to control. Once you do, we have some movement. The Knight of Cups will bring positive emotional fulfillment. Okay, if you continue as you are, some of my Virgos, then that the Knight of Cups, that feeling is not going to feel legit. It's going to feel superficial. It's not going to be fulfilling. It might be action that you don't like. What that brings up to me to say, what motivates you? What are your intentions, Virgo, on the things that you have been doing? Right? Because to me, like, there's a couple of things too. When you can't sleep, it's the conscious. Something is bothering your conscious. Are you self-betraying your integrity? Hence my intro on the full moon that that video I recorded. Conscious, like what have you been doing? What were your intentions on things? Have you been giving too much and betrayed yourself? Oh, okay, I repeated myself. Because watch this. Now we move on to the Five of Swords. This also brings like intentions and motivations on things. Do you want a short victory just because you want to keep the peace? Or do you want a victory that's clear because you are learning that you also have some involvement in what's going on? You know, that self accountability, responsibility. Because if you're vibing from a low place, it's say you're gonna feel betrayed. You're gonna feel like someone took advantage of you. There's gonna be more, losers and winners, and which side are you? Either side's gonna, they're not gonna get something out of it. So in this case, what I get from this Virgo, it just goes back to that full moon reading I did. I feel it's like cause and consequence. How are you doing with your boundaries, your integrity, and how you feel, what makes you be authentic and yourself? Self-betrayal, all this is here. So it's like if that movement that's gonna fill your cup or your soul requires you to release self-criticism, release self-doubt, or release people that are not making you feel authentic, then it needs to be done. And not being able to rest, it's the conscience. So something's bothering you. And I hope that you figure out what that is, Virgo. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Let me see. Let me pick one of these cards. What message do we have for Virgos watching today? From this deck here. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's see here. This one falls under the category of relationships, Virgo. All right, it's a question. With whom do you feel most relaxed and happiest? I will leave that to my Virgos watching, and let's go ahead and pick a song. I'm gonna pick it from the light. Mine Eyes by Switchblade Symphony, Virgo. 1995, perhaps something major happened in 95, perhaps you were born in 1995. The number 6, and that's the house of Virgo, okay? Mine Eyes, it's like, how are you seeing your life? Like, what's your perception of life for you right now? It's focusing on a third eye. So if you need to do some, third eye, that's, intuition, higher intuition. All I mean, I talked about Virgo. Virgo would be considered a high priest or priestess. You guys are also hermit. Hermit is like someone that's really elevated because they're loners and they like to really, really like see things with a clear eye, clear head. Your intuition, and consider if this resonates in any way, as above, so below. If you have disconnected from the source, God, Jesus, whatever you believe in. And also perhaps there's some false prophet or around you in your environment, Virgo. Or are you playing, this like savior prophet and misguiding people around you, hence the intentions as well. Take it as it resonates. Leave the rest, Virgo. And that has been the reading for the first section for Aries to Virgo. Thank you for being here. And this is weekend reading with Chakralosa for this weekend of May 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you.